Yes, in this video, I'm going to show you how to get a lot of power in your pass and accuracy, but making sure it's a natural pass. None of this big wind-up swinging. Hey, I'm Ben John, the rugby trainer, and this channel is all about improving your rugby performance, from drills, tips, insights, everything you need to become a better player. Have you ever tried throwing that long pass and not quite get the power, or it dies right at the last second? Or when you do throw those longer passes, do you change your technique drastically? Do you start with a big swing, or you start crabbing across the pitch or drifting across the pitch, taking that defense with you? Then this video is perfect for you. If you're seeing value in this video, please put a big thumbs up below. It'll make a huge difference. I'll be breaking the pass down into 4 parts, but make sure you hang around at the end, because I'll be giving a bonus part at the end where I'm going to be focusing on drills that you can do that's going to change your pass. So the first thing we're going to look at is your hand positioning on the ball. Making sure that you're getting your little finger behind the ball. And I don't mean having your hand directly behind that ball. A lot of us, when we do our vertical passes, when we're on our own and we're looking for that perfect spin to roll off our little finger, we adjust our hand and we turn into an egg cup. And I don't want to see that. I want to make sure that our hand is on the side of the ball. Like, imagine you're playing a guitar, but that little finger is at the back of the ball, because that's going to help us roll that ball off our hand and push through that ball. So that little finger is very important, but having it at the back of the ball so we can go through that pass. So a question I do get asked a lot is wrist and elbow. Where should that spin come from? Like I said, hand behind the ball, letting that ball roll off your fingers. But yes, the wrist can help you get that little bit more whip through the ball, but also your elbow is going to help as well. And the difference can be because of your limb length. It could be down to an injury, like myself. My left side, I can't bend my wrist as much because of previous rugby injuries, so I can't bend it backwards. So I use a lot more elbow on my left side. So as I'm passing the ball, I have to whip my elbow around the corner a little bit more to get that ball to punch through with a little bit more spin. Whereas on my right side, I can wrap my wrist around the ball a little bit more, and that makes me then keep my elbow through straight. You can see through the video now the difference between my left and my right. My left is a little bit more elbow whip, where my right is a bit more wrist whip. But again, all down to you and what you prefer. Try them both out. So part 2 is our start position. We touched on our hand position, but also very important is where we start the ball, because that's going to be our reference point. And as well as that, we can get a lot of power punching from where we start the ball. Yes, we catch the ball here, but we want to get that ball then wherever we catch the ball, because we're not always going to have it here. If we catch it above our head, down below, we want to get that ball back to that start position, because we know then where this ball is going to end up, because we've got that same consistent trajectory, all right? So the start position is technically where we want that 90-degree angle on our elbow, but a good reference or rough reference point is to get that ball to your hip. So start that ball on your hip. So wherever you catch the ball, get that ball to your hip, and that's our start position. Whether it's down here, get that ball to your hip. Above your head, get that ball to your hip, and that's where we start from. If you can get consistent at starting that ball from your hip, again, wherever you feel comfortable, it might be below, might be a little bit higher, that 90-degree angle, that's where we want to start the ball from. So that is really important. Part number 3 is the finish position, and personally, I think it's important is the start and the finish. Those are the 2 most important things, because anything in the middle, that's where I've touched on the wrist and elbow, whichever you feel comfortable with your technique, because a lot of people have their elbow coming around the corner or having a little bit more wrist and punching straight through. But as long as you start and finish in a consistent place where that finishing position is pointing to the target that you want to go to, then that is going to help you become accurate, okay? So like I've said, from here, whether your wrist or elbow or a good combination of both, boom, you're punching through and you're pointing to the target. So say you are the target now, I'm pointing to the target with 2 hands to that target. Again, you can have your hands together. I prefer having my hands together like that, but I know a lot of people do this, a lot of people do that, but as long as those hands are going towards that target. Because even if you are very elbowing, you're coming around the corner on it like this, then having this left hand or nearest hand to the catcher pointing is going to stop you from over rotating elbow coming around, boom, there, stopping me, but then it's accuracy, pointing to that target. The ball's gonna go where I want it to, and I'm gonna keep moving forward. So nailing those first 3 points, which are the technical points, is gonna help us become a lot more accurate when we do start getting a lot more power into our pass. That's why it's very important. That's why I touched on those 3 things first. So in order to get power in your pass, if you're looking to push that longer pass, it all starts from the floor. A lot of us think the power comes from our hips swinging around, but it actually starts from the floor. So if you can get into a good balanced position as you're coming forward, what I like to do is the inside leg. If I'm passing left now, my right leg lands, and then from there I can push through the floor. From that push, I can transfer that, especially if the 3 points that we just touched on, that technique is spot on. I can control the accuracy of the power I'm creating. So as I'm coming through this pass, land on my right foot. If I'm passing to the left-hand side with my right hand, power comes through this leg, up my body, and then I can transfer it through that pass by driving off. And as well as that, that's going to help me then get on my bike ready to support that player. So the power starts from the floor, transfers up through our technique. That's when we can control the ball, punch through to the target, and that's where the accuracy comes from then. So a mixture of power through the floor, our movement comes up, control then with our technique. That's why it's very important that our technique is spot on. Yes, so this is the bonus section. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I'm going to give you a few drills for you to try to add to your training. That's going to help you get a lot more power in your pass, and you can hit those 10 to 15 meter passes without changing your technique, but boom, being accurate, pushing your ball receiver on the out if need be, or through that gap. Yes, and that is it for today. Make sure you get those tips, you add them to those drills, and then over time you'll be sending those rockets in. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and head over to my website, and you can download a 100 pass challenge ebook for absolutely free, and it's going to level up your passing.